Hello, hello. Welcome to another live stream. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I took a couple of days off and it was refreshing, but I missed you and I missed this. And I was working on some other content behind the scenes and wanted to come through today with a message very, very clearly that's coming through from Spirit. Say hello if you're tuning in here live with me, or if you're on the replay, I would love to hear it and know where you're from and stuff like that. So I love connecting in the comments with you. So the message is coming through very clearly um, is I always like to share the synchronicities that lead up to the mission, or not the mission, the message. So we'll see how this all unfolds, but the message is coming through is there's a lot of energy right now building collectively. It's kind of like a snowball, like growing and building momentum. And if you resonate with this, you may be able to feel it. Like you can feel that there's a lot coming in, like energetically, like you're moving into something big. Something big is kind of like building momentum, and you may see pieces of this. I know in my own experience I've been perfectly aligned, divinely aligned to some amazing opportunities that popped out of nowhere that I couldn't have planned for. That is, things like that. So there's things like that happening, but there's still this energy of building momentum. And so one thing that I was really being called to touch on is anchoring in and grounding in the physical body right now is super, super key. So maybe you've been feeling really tired. I know personally, I just love sleeping right now, like sleeping and just resting and like it feels like there's like this moment of, even though there's still a lot of things happening and I'm taking divinely guided actions on things such as this live stream and content for programs and all these things, like there's still this element of rest and there's still this element of really nurturing and anchoring into the body, and sleep and hydration are a big piece of this. And this is really important in order to ground the frequency. So if you're on this ascension timeline, you know, some of the downloads and the attunements that I've been receiving, like some powerful I've ever received, and that's been happening for over a decade. But even more recently, like the toning in the ears and things like that have increased, and also have been really powerful. And so it's almost as like sometimes and this is breaking free from the way society has trained us to be like we're always supposed to be doing things. I just hopped off of a call with one of the members of Embody the Empress, and it's like being able to rest in and feel content and feel at peace and not have to be doing anything in order to feel okay in doing that. There's this egoic need to always be doing and producing and out there doing things and things like that. And so it can feel foreign to you at the beginning if this is something that you're new to. But anyways, that's one thing that's coming through, is that it's really important to anchor into the body. It's really important to stay hydrated. That is part of really allowing this frequency to flow through your being. And it's important to get the rest that you need and to release any need to feeling like you have to be like overly active or doing things. I know I touch on this all the time. Doing for the sake of doing is just that hyper masculine toxic energy. It's really about taking action that are divinely guided and inspired and feel fun and feel like in the flow. But then it's being matched by this rest period and being able to fully, go inward and be, slowing down. So slowing down is medicine at this time, right? It's like literally nurturing your body and your soul and allowing the frequencies to integrate into your being. So if you're having sleep disturbances, if you're feeling really overly lethargic or overly tired, just know there's nothing wrong with you necessarily. I'm not a doctor, of course. Seek out any medical attention that you need, just full disclaimer there. But side effects of this ascension timeline is that you will go through bouts. It doesn't have to be consistent, but you'll go through seasons where it's time to rest and recover and honor your body and to really ground the frequencies, especially when the frequencies are coming in. So, it's especially when it's so strong, which I think we've all felt even before 2025 hit, right? So that's the momentum, the snowball that's building. And it's like almost like being able to rest before something else is going to come into your life that is big, and you can probably feel that if you're resonating with this. And so the synchronicities behind this that led up to this message have been super fun. Probably back in August or September, I saw on the license plate when I was at the gym, wait for it. Like it said, wait for it. And then immediately the shift. And of course I knew exactly what that meant. And this was back in August or September. This was like when we were already starting to feel an acceleration. I'm sure this acceleration, this momentum building didn't just start in 2025. We've been moving through this as a collective for some time, moving through these energies for some time. And then so that was several months ago. And then just leading up to today, yeah, I saw a wait for it like two more times right in a row. And it was kind of like circling back. It's like the last several months have been really a phase of like integrating and purifying and like preparation. And this momentum is building, and we are building this with our own frequency, but we're also receiving like these frequencies within our body. So that's why the whole message of really anchoring and grounding in the body is really important right now. So I want to touch on this energy of like wait for it. It's not a waiting as if you're waiting, like waiting for something else in the future to happen. When I hear it come through, it comes in like, wait for it. Like, I don't know what movie that's from. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know. I know whatever movie that's from, or a song or whatever, where it's like, wait for it. It's like, wait for it. It's like something is about to pop into your experience that is that is bigger than it's kind of like the energy of like all of this momentum that's been building is about to pop into your experience and shift your trajectory in a really big way. And it's like this wait for it energy is just like, it's like kind of like a preparing energy. It's not like you're sitting here waiting for something outside of yourself to change your reality. That's very lack based. It's not coming from that vibe. It's coming from a like it's like there's something that's already brewing within the collective for so many of us that's going to shift our trajectories and pop into our experience in a major way. And it's like we're being guided to prepare for it and wait for it by preparing for it, by taking care of ourselves, by coming home to ourselves, by honoring our body, by anchoring and grounding the frequency in the 3D, right? Anchoring and grounding this light energy that's hitting us in the 3D, because there's this momentum like that's building. And some of us may feel like a sense of urgency around it, but it's like the message is to chill. Like that's kind of like the wait for it. It's like, wait for it. Like the beauty is unfolding. Like there's so much happening behind the scenes for your ascension timeline that you can't see. And I know I've seen this in my own life. Like things have been popping in that I couldn't have planned for, that are like so divinely aligned. And so that's really fun to see. But it's also, it's like this energy of just, yeah, like going with the flow, anchoring the energy, grounding the frequency, taking care of yourself, not getting caught up in the future projection of it. So that's what I wanted to be clear. This wait for it energy is not like you're like future projecting and you're saying, okay, well, everything's going to be cool or better, or when X, Y, or Z happens in the future. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what this energy is. It's kind of like a wait for it. It's like this, like, it's like being dragged out. It's like this, like, just wait for it. When I hear that word, the thing that came to my mind was like, when you're in that energy of waiting for it, but it's like this just energy of being present in the now, and like just really, it's like almost like this like excited anticipation of something that is just meant for you is popping into your experience, or like things are happening in such a divinely guided way, and you're very aware of this energy, and it's just like, wait for it. But but then it pops. Like, that's the other thing that's coming through. There's a sudden shift. There's a sudden pop that instantly starts to shift your trajectory in a really powerful way, because that momentum that you've been feeling has been building, right? And I shared this in a previous video, not a live stream video, but from a different pre-recorded video. It's kind of like the energy leading up to this, especially towards the end of 2024, for many of us, maybe you resonate with this, certain things may have made you feel like you're going backwards. And I shared in a message that you're not being going backwards, you're being slingshotted. So this is kind of the energy of wait for it, right? It's like, this is the perfect metaphor. It's like a slingshot. When you pull the slingshot back, it's like gaining momentum, right? And you may even feel, I'm getting full body chills right now. You may even feel in certain areas of your life that you're being held back, or you're being pulled back, or you're being like whatever. And you're aware enough to know that this is all like part of the play. So, but regardless, you can feel the momentum building. On the 3D level, it may appear as if you're going backwards in some way, or that you're one step forward, three steps back kind of energy, or that you're, something like that, right? But as you pull the slingshot back, you're building momentum. And when you let that go, when you let go, it catapults forward, right? And all of a sudden, that momentum, that snowball that's been building, right? All the same kind of metaphor, that momentum catapults you forward. So you're not being held back, you're being catapulted. The momentum that you're feeling is the momentum that's building while all of the different cooperative components in the divine is doing the thing behind the scenes that you don't even need to know about or be privy to, but you can feel it. And that's why there's this energy of feeling like something big is coming, is because you're being like, you're in this energy of like this growing momentum, that's a trajectory that's going to really shift you into a higher your dharma timeline, I like to call it, because your ascension timeline and your dharma timeline are essentially the two things, because as you ascend, you naturally align with more and more of what your soul has called you to do, right? Like your true soul calling, your true soul purpose is your ascension timeline. Like, all of our souls came here to evolve, and you came here, if you're listening to this, to help lead New Earth. And so you are here, you've contracted on a soul level to be a paradigm leader in this ascension that humanity is going through. And so you play a specific part. You have your own assignment. Nobody has your assignment. Whatever that assignment is right now is being worked out behind the scenes, and you may see pieces of it. You may be getting hits. You may be seeing glimpses of it, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes that will blow your mind, because it is big. It is a lot of momentum that's building. It is going to be a catapulting forward. And what happens, the other thing that's coming through, is that happens very fast. So both like the wait for it metaphor, I wish I knew the movie that was coming for, that was coming from. To put it into context, it's kind of like someone was being impatient. I don't know if this is a song or a movie, but someone's being impatient. And the response is, wait for it. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Like, it's coming. Wait for it. Like, that's the kind of energy that the spirit was bringing through. It's that there's a huge shift happening. Wait for it. Huge shift. Momentum building, catapulted forward, new trajectory. And it happens in an instant. It happens very fast. When you let go of the slingshot, this isn't like a slow thing that happens. And so the rest phase that some of you, and myself included, like the grounding of the frequency, the being able to embody the light energy we're receiving, and then frequencies that we're receiving, the light codes that are being activated within us, that energy needs to be grounded within our being. And so this is all kind of like preparation while the slingshot is being pulled back, before before the momentum is released, before you are unleashed in whatever trajectory God has planned for you. Because if you're here resonating with this, you work for the divine. You are a divine worker. Call yourself a light worker or a star seed. I will refer to it as a divine worker. God is your employer, and you came here on an assignment, a soul mission, soul purpose, soul assignment to play your part. Whatever that part may be, looks different for everyone, but you came here to play a very specific role for the new earth ascension that humanity is going through. And when this slingshot is like, when this is released, the momentum moves fast. It goes fast. And so rest now for what is to come. That's the message. That's kind of the message. And it's all coming full circle now. I love it when I hop on these live streams because that's the beauty of it, just showing up organically, because like my mind tries to figure out the whole message, like between all of the different pieces of it, the snowball, the wait for it, the shift, like all of the grounding of the energy and all of these things. And it feels very disjointed at first. My mind tries to figure it out, but then I'm just like, you know what? I know better. It's all going to come out however it's supposed to come out. And it's all perfectly tied together. So I think Spirit just put a little bow. All of this, I hope, is resonating. It's this rugged for what's to come. Like, and that's going to look different, but like maybe, like how your trajectory shifts soon. It's not, this is not like a year down the road or anything like that. There's a lot of shifts for a lot of us happening right here, right now in 2025 at the time of this recording. Of course, this is a timeless message and there are different waves of the collective that will be moving into this, but this message is very timely right now for those that are in this frequency and energy right now at 2025, which is a very potent year. And I'll dive into that on why in a different episode, but this is a very potent year. And if you're resonating with this, you are leading this paradigm. And so there's a lot happening behind the scenes. The divine is orchestrating the whole thing. You can't do this wrong. Your only job is to come home to yourself. Your only job is to come home to yourself. Trust the process. Take whatever aligned, inspired actions that feel fun and joyful for you, and realize where. I guess we'll dive into this because I just hopped off of one of our sacred integration circles with Embody the Empress. So I'm going to touch on this, but this will probably be a whole nother episode. Realize where you're compromising in any way, shape, or form, selling yourself short, self-abandoning, not living in your truth, not being authentic. This is going to be a theme that's going to be running under the radar, like running through everything, not under the radar. It's actually going to be very front and center to you, but this is going to be a theme that's going to be also part of this timeline for the very near future for so many of us, because you are aligning with your most highest authentic expression. And so any place that you're compromising your values or selling yourself short, settling for less, buying into disempowering stories of unworthiness or lack or scarcity or anything like that are all going to be brought to the surface so you can choose again. And that's all it is. And the ultimate choice to make is that you are a divine expression and that the divine is orchestrating all things and surrendering it to the highest and greatest good of all involved. And any wisdom, any action, any guidance, any next steps will be revealed to you, because you are one with the infinite intelligence that creates all things. And when you allow that truth to be your North Star, that you are one with the infinite intelligence that's creating all of this, then you will always receive the next action, the right answer. You will always receive crystal clear clarity on whatever needs to be shown or revealed to you so you can course correct. So there's another message coming through, but I'm being guided to share that on a separate video. So I think that one's going to be one that comes out possibly later today. For this one, I want to keep this message. I'm keeping this succinct right here, right now, with what's coming through, which is rest, prepare, like hold space for yourself, be in the peace and the contentment and the slow in the slowing down, right? Slowing down is medicine right now. And yet action will still arise, but it'll be inspired action. So this isn't, so take whatever inspired actions come up, but release the need or urge to try to like make things happen, and give yourself the time and the space to come home to yourself and really anchor in the body and really ground this frequency, because that's what we're doing right now. We're kind of laying brick by brick a foundation, and it is all done energetically. It is all done with our frequency. And this is why hydrating and sleeping and grounding this frequency is so key in order to fully, anchor this into the 3D. We do this through us. We do this through our vessel. And we have to honor and respect our vessel. And we have to honor and respect that this is a channel of the divine. You are human, you are divinity in human form. And we have to honor this. We have to love ourselves enough to to show up for ourselves and not overextend ourselves and push ourselves and things like that. So whoever needed to hear that, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but that's a piece of this, is being able to trust this process and come home to yourself, anchoring the frequency. And yeah, so I'm excited for whoever this resonates with. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the collective. I'm excited what is unfolding. There is a level of anticipated excitement. It's not like waiting for something and then it'll be exciting or something. Like, no, this is like you're living in the magic and the mystery of it now. There's an anticipation and excitement, but it's just so present. It's just right now. And you're gifted with the knowing that there's just things happening that you're being prepared for. And trust that, because it's a very accurate for so many of us that are here to step into new shoes and to walk new timelines and to share in a big bold way our authentic expression, our art, our medicine with the world. And the divine's doing all the heavy lifting. That's the last thing I'll share, is the heavy lifting is no longer your job. Your job is not to figure it out. Your job is not to do all the heavy lifting. Your job is not to muscle through this journey. And if there is any of that hustling and muscling through this journey and trying to figure it out, you're going to be met with a lot of resistance, because this is about fully trusting and surrendering to the divine orchestration of your life and allowing that intelligence to guide your next steps and taking inspired and intuitive action from that place and resting and recovering and loving yourself, right? So this is truly, bringing into union your feminine and your masculine essence, right? And being able to be fully anchored in both of those, right? So we're not discounting the sacred masculine in us that wants to create space and take action and is courageous and all of those things. There's very much that going on, but there's also a resting in our feminine and loving ourselves and slowing down and not taking action for the sake of action, but following our intuition and our guidance. There is a lot happening right now that is beyond what the eyes can see in your reality, and you can feel it. And that's why you feel the momentum building, and you just need to trust it. It's a very exciting time to be alive. There's a lot happening. And if you're resonating with this, then you're part of this beautiful ascension timeline. And I'm honored to be here with you on this journey. And so if anybody is resonating with this, please drop it in the comments below. Keep an eye out for another pre-recorded video that's going to come out. It's not going to be part of this live, but there's another message coming through. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a video. And I will see you again soon. Namaste.